We're going to do something I've never done before. We are going to do this live because I really don't have time to edit this. So hang on a second. Let me get you all set up here. We're not doing it on the coffee can. I should have had all this ready. But hey, doing it live. Some of you will get the "we're doing it live" reference. Let's see. Bradley's here. All right, so we are going to do a live knife review. Mainly, well, one, I haven't done a live feed in a while. Two, I told Nick I was going to do this. If you watched, hey, what's up, Joshua? If you watched Thursday Night Knives with Bobby, we touched on this knife a little bit. This is my friend Nick Rogers made this. It's called the Nitch ingress. And so I held the original prototype well over a year ago. I held a couple iterations of it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, my best advice I could really give Nick at the time, and I felt bad saying it, was you just need to start over. Well, he didn't start over, and it was kind of a good thing. He stuck to his guns. Let me drop you guys down just a little bit. Like I said, this is a live knife review. I haven't ever done one of these live. So he did stick to his guns, and he stuck to his design, and I got the prototype from Levon at the Knife Nuts podcast, and I got this iteration of it in hand, and I still, like I said, this is not a knife for me. I'm gonna let you guys know that right now. But the thing was, I was out here in the kitchen. I had taken some migraine medicine. I was kind of dopey. I was really lazy, and I wanted to cut something up to put on a sandwich. I was like, screw it. And I pulled this knife out of my pocket, and the second I went to the cutting board, I was like, oh, whoa, hey. This excels as a small little folding kitchen prep knife. But before we do that, we are gonna do some specs and stuff just like we do in a regular video. Morning. The only thing is you guys are here with me live. So we're gonna talk about the knife a little bit. So what you got here is AL4V titanium handles. He redid his pocket clip. I'm gonna turn this around here in a minute. We will look at it just like we do with everything else. But he changed some of the stuff he did. So the first iteration I got, a lot of this was really sharp. There was a big flipper tab. It didn't really fit any purpose I would ever use it for, and it still really doesn't for me. It takes up too much pocket space. But what Nick was trying to do was he was trying to come up with a really useful office knife, like a box cutter, and inadvertently, and I don't know whether inadvertent or not, I haven't really talked to him about it too much. Like I said, I know Nick for a while. What he wound up with was, with this angle and this shape, what you wind up with is one of these. That's basically what you wind up with. And so, like I said, I was out here in the kitchen and I was goofing, and then I've done a few other things, cooking tasks with this. But let's go ahead and I'll give you some specs. So what you're looking at is a 3.25 inch blade that is from a 0.125 stock, 1.125 inch stock, with a behind the edge thickness. You ready? Behind the edge thickness of 0.015. It is super thin. That's why it does so well for small cutting tasks. Wow, that was a big bird that just flew through my yard. So hey, Steve. So what you wound up with was something that was super, super thin, and if it's in your pocket, you could feasibly toss this in a pack and have something like this that you could use for food prep. Now, this is not an outdoors knife. In no way, shape, or form is this an outdoors knife. Nick even says so. This was designed for guys like him that work in an office. But it just turned out that I wanted to cut up some, I didn't have any dill pickle chips. I got some pickles out, and I honestly had a migraine and taken that medicine, and I was sick enough that I just didn't want to turn around. I already had the cutting board, and I was like, I had this in my pocket. I was like, screw it, I can cut up a pickle with anything. And I started using this and I was like, hang on a second. Hang on a second. I found where it shines. This is way better than the Spyderco Spidey Chef or the Leon Ma KUF in a food prep roll because it's almost purpose built for it, whether it was intentional or not. So, any of you guys got any questions about it? Because I want to get this done. The reason I'm doing it live is Nick's Kickstarter ends on Tuesday. So if you guys are interested in this, this is a really, really nice knife. It really is a nicely built knife. It is a unique look. It's not, I honestly don't find it unattractive. I just find it a little over the top. And it's not something I couldn't use this. This does not fit the needs that I would have for a knife. But now that I found a niche, it is the Nitch design. I'm really happy that Nick kind of stuck with it and came up with something. I showed this to Matt and I showed it to Nico, and both were like, holy crap, that is really, really good in that purpose. So yeah, I felt conflicted. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do an honest review of this. Let me make sure I have this set. Sometimes let me see here. Sometimes I forget to set up the chat. So, its ability to cut food easily because the blade isn't that far away from your hand. The handle isn't. It's a combination of all of it. So you've got a nice flat where you can get in. This up here where his sharpening choil is, it doesn't round completely out and then come back down to a point that's hitting on the table where this would be hitting instead of the knife. You can get it in a pinch grip and keep your knuckles off. And then, like I said, it's super thin because with a blade this wide, you have plenty of time to transition in that grind with that huge, big, broad grind that it's so similar to a kitchen knife. Now, the other thing this really, really, really does well is cut down cardboard. So this is in 20 CV. This is a 20 CV, and so it does not have a great blade to handle ratio. I'm not gonna lie to you, it doesn't, but the fact is I can see that being like you've got a really good grip on it. You can cut through things. I cut up a bunch of onion with this yesterday. I julienned a bunch of carrots that I cooked yesterday. Did them sous vide with some butter. It does really, really good in the kitchen. It does well with meat. It is dull now though, because I did cut down a bunch of cardboard. If you heard me talk about it on the Knife Junkie Thursday Night Knives, I cut down this screams through cardboard because it's so thin. So, I mean, it's not a robust knife by any long stretch. And I'm like, I was gonna compare it to something I have in my pocket. Kickstarter ends Tuesday, I think. There's like 4 days left on the Kickstarter. So, I mean, he did a lot of stuff. Like, this is not just, like, there was a lot of thought that went into it. This is all weight lightning where there's no grind here. So that was a big, thick piece of metal, and everything else had milling to take down the weight. Because guys, I'm going to weigh this right now. I'm going to tell you right now, for as big and broad as this knife looks, you're going to be surprised when and it's all the blade weight. So ounces, in ounces, 4 3/8 ounces. And that's a big knife. That really is a big knife, because you're looking at a handle length of 4.57 with a blade length of 3.25. Somebody do some math for me. What's that overall? Because I did not look up an overall length. But I mean, that's a fairly big, and I mean, it is broad. That blade is, guys, no joke, this blade is just shy of 2 inches wide. A 2-inch wide blade. And I mean, we're looking, what did I say it was in weight? 4.5 ounces, 4 3/8. I mean, that's, come on. That in grams is just 126 grams. It's not thick, wide. It's not thick at all. It's 0.125 on the blade stock. So, and it's got a unique look. You know what I said? Now, I will post up in comments in the community tab. This looks like, I told him when I first saw it, I was like, it looks like the crocodile from Peter Pan. He said somebody told him it looked like a helicopter. This looks like an armored fish. I'll post both of those pictures up in the communities tab because they are funny. But like I said, if I had not just been sick and lazy, I would not have found, I probably would not be doing a video about it because I was afraid that I would not be able to find a good use for this knife and be able to give Nick's knife a good review. Guys, if you're still here, you should probably drop a thumbs up because it'll help get this video shared because I'm trying to help Nick with this. It wound up truly being better than any of the kitchen folders that I've seen other companies make, like the Cuff, the Spidey Chef. There's a couple others out there that are, oh, you can use it for food prep. The problem that I run into is I took a knife that I own that's fairly thin on that trip we did with my friend Dennis, and the knife was just too thick. You couldn't. My wife wanted to cut up hard-boiled eggs, and it was crushing them and breaking them up. And she's like, oh, because the kitchen knives there were horrible. This would have been perfect for that. And I have several really thin knives, nowhere as thin or as easy to use. Like I said, you can get this in a pinch grip, just like, yeah, I have. I didn't like it. You can get this in a pinch grip just like a regular chef's knife. It for all intents and purposes, is a small chef's knife. I told him I wish that the blade was a little bit longer for some kitchen tasks, but I mean, I cut a great big Vidalia onion up for my pasta that I had yesterday because I wanted some cooked onion in it, and Vidalia onions are big and round and squat, and it still did a great job. I mean, I had to make like a cut and then chop through, but it does great for food prep. And it cuts, like I said, cardboard, scream through cardboard. I do have to sharpen this for him before I send it back. But yeah, his Kickstarter ends on like Tuesday. So I wanted to do that. Let's get it in here where you guys can take a good look at it. All titanium, hardware is even titanium. So like if you wanted to anodize it, you could anodize even the hardware, because you could do 2 different colors. You could have colored hardware. And I like this pocket clip that he used. I can honestly say I like it because it's nice and broad, and it's good pocket tension. Here, let me pull my Spartan. Yeah, I'm wearing a pair of shorts, like thin track shorts right now. But in and out of the pockets, no problem. No catch, not too much. I carried it in jeans. Like I said, it does take up too much space in my pocket for my personal preference, but if I was gonna have one of these, it would be specifically to carry a small food prep knife in a backpack. Like if I had one of these, this would be my Airbnb knife, because every Airbnb we've ever stayed at, including this last weekend, the 4th of July weekend, I mean, every time the knives are just garbage and you can't cut anything with them. So, yeah, it's really, really good at its specific thing. And like I said, it looks like, he called it Nitch Designs, and I'm like, well, I found its niche for me personally. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get that. I wanted to do it live because, like I said, I didn't want to edit everything. I could get people here. I could show it. The Kickstarter ends on Tuesday. So I believe Tuesday. There's like 4 days left in the Kickstarter. Not much time left in the Kickstarter. If you want to get in on one of these, now's the time to. I did not even look up the price. But I know that he has a set goal and stuff like that. So like I said, if you guys are watching this, I'd appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up, because that's how we get this shared, because I'm trying to do this for Nick. that algorithm. That's how it works. So this one I'm asking for the likes because I'm trying to help Nick. Yeah, it's a really it's unique. It's really unique. Deployment on it. Oh, I forgot about deployment. The thumb hole is just in the right spot where I prefer to use a thumb and just roll it open with a thumb. It does not have a flipper tab. It does not have a thumb stud. It just has that fairly unique aperture. Now, you can flip it open, but it doesn't fly open like a lot of other knives because the angle that you're flipping it at, you gotta really snap it, but you can finger flick it. But like I said, as far as opening it with the thumb hole, it works great. So, and it's got, oh, this big shelf here, you can get up, like I said, when you're cutting, you can get up on it on a pinch grip just like that, and it's so comfortable. What's up, Lion Knives? So this, I hope you saw the fact that I was 100% being sarcastic, and I realized that sometimes my sarcasm does not come across in text, and it just sounds like I'm being an ass. So I went back and I was looking at that comment. I was like, you know, in retrospect, I'm not going to take it down. But reading that comment, you sound kind of douchey. So I read it again. I was like, yeah, you probably should. Let's see here. I want to check something. So this is why this is in my pocket. So this is my UTX, and we'll do this. We're doing it live. I'll bring the camera around here. And up we go. Let's see here. Let's see here. You guys see a marked quality improvement in the video for a moment. Let's see here. So that's still in grams. That's 3 grams, and that's a very small knife, or 3 ounces, and this is 4 3/8, so only an ounce. And I mean, yeah, this one's a good bit heavier, but the fact is, look at the difference in size. There is so much internal. I don't know, Steve. I did not look on the Kickstarter hard enough. This is live, so I suppose I could look it up on the wife's computer, but, you know, effort. It is 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday. You guys are lucky I'm even awake. I did not. I'm coming back. I did not sleep real great. And my daughter's coming down the stairs.
Actually 8:15.
It's actually 8:15. How's your knee feel? Way better?
A little bit better. So I just came out last night.
Okay, well, I want you to walk on it as natural as possible to keep it stretched. So anyway, like I was saying, I just decided I would do it live. Price, I'm pretty sure that there's multiple pricing structures where you can get one, get two, get one at half the price, get this. I know that he has a long way to go on the fundraiser. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. This is why I don't do them live all that often, because there's stuff that just happens in my head and I can't get the words out because I forget them. So yeah, I mean, he did a pretty good job on the design. If that's something that, if you want a unique knife, this will get attention. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just, like I said, it's not something that I would use often enough to make it a justified purchase for me. But if some people love that idea of a ready-made pocket tool that's useful for some of the things that they would do. Like, case in point, how many times you went to a friend's house and you're helping them in the kitchen and their knives are just wrecked and you're like, I can't help you. There's a reason your onions look so bad. You're not cutting them, you're crunching them. You know, stuff like that. I cut some tomato, super thin slices, because you can get some angle. And like I said, the angle comes up just like a chef's knife would. It comes in really, really handy. I am so happy that I was able to find a task where it shines so that I could actually give it an odd, like, before I was like, I don't know how I'm going to review this. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do with the knife, this and that. But when you can put it into context, and once I saw what it was, I was like, oh wow. And I was like, oh, I bet I can do this with it. And then I went to the cardboard, which such a broad, thin blade, it just screams through cardboard like nothing. So, yeah. Anybody got any questions about anything that I found on it? Like I said, it's super light. And the pocket clip reminds me a lot of that pocket clip. That's why this knife's out. Reminds me a lot of the Microtech pocket clip. It's almost a cross between the Microtech pocket clip that they put on their Ultratechs and the Sebenza's pocket clip. It's kind of in the middle there. So, but I'm not going to stay on here too much longer, guys, because I do know that this is kind of a review. Yeah, it's like a cross between the two. It's broader than the Sebenza clip, most definitely, and it's got the little raised area, kind of like you'd see on some of the Microtech ones. But then it's kind of like a hybrid between the two. So I'll give you guys 9 more minutes. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys watch this in a fashion where you can't drop a like till later, but if you would drop a like I said, so that this video gets shared a little bit better, because my videos have not been getting shared too much lately. I don't know what happened. I was doing good, but if we get this shared, maybe Nick can get a little bit more traction on that GoFundMe, or not GoFundMe, Kickstarter. It's on Kickstarter. All you have to do is look up the Nitch, Nitch, I think is how he spelled it. He didn't spell it niche like Niche like it would be. It's Nitch. Nitch Design Ingress. No. Single-sided clip, but the fact is, in all likelihood, like I said, for me, I didn't even think about that because, one, I always carry right-hand side tip up anyway. Other thing is, this would probably be something that I don't know how much time it would actually keep a pocket clip on it. There's a good chance that since the pocket clip has nothing to do with the structure of the knife, that I would take the pocket clip off and just toss this in a pouch in a backpack or in my suitcase when we go on a trip to like an Airbnb. Because like I said, they historically have got horrible kitchen knives. And then you'd have something that is a fairly decent kitchen tool. So the only thing I don't like I said, I wish it was a little bit longer, and I think he could have moved the pivot more towards the middle, up that angle, and brought the stop pin forward, because if you look, that stop pin, you lose about an inch in blade length, just because of the position of the pivot. But I'm gonna say, it doesn't affect the action at all. It does not. It seems weird that the pivot is that far that way, but it doesn't affect anything about the way the knife functions. I mean, like, when you look at knives, usually your pivot is more dead center. On this one, it's not, but it doesn't seem to affect it at all. So, and I think that, in all honesty, puts a good bit more tension off the lock bar, because your pivot's here, pushing here like a lever, and this is further back. So that means that that's pushing against that stop pin harder. So less chance of blade play going this way. Less tension here equates to more pressure here. Less blade play, less pressure on that lock bar insert where you'd have some deformity. You know what I mean? Depending on how you put your lever. Maybe I have that backwards. I think I have that backwards. Pretty sure I do. I was trying to come up with a justify. Nope, I didn't, because it runs on bearings. It runs on caged bearings. It is super light. Super light. So much weight reduction in this thing. Like, you can look at the weight reduction and all that stuff in the Kickstarter. He's got he has it torn down. That's why I'm not taking it apart. He has it like taken apart, pictures of it. He's got the specs on the Kickstarter. all that stuff. So I mean, if you want a really, really in-depth detail thing, go look at the Kickstarter. I just wanted to do like my hands-on impressions of it. It does great with cardboard. If you're one of those guys that likes to like cut up plastic bottles before you put them in so they don't take up as much space instead of just crushing them. Some guys like cut them into strips and then they just take a bag of strips to the recycling center. I've seen guys doing that. I do it sometimes just because I'm bored. I like to cut things. So milk jugs, cutting down milk jugs, turning milk jugs into things. I mean, it does really well on things that thicker knives typically bind up in. Like I said, it just screams through cardboard. So Bobby D and I were talking about it on the Knife Junkie podcast, the Thursday Night Knives thing. He had just gotten one and I had this one and he was like, oh wow, hey, look at that. So, yo Neves, I'm doing this live. I don't do knife reviews live, but I figured I'd do this one. I'm gonna run it right at 30 minutes, but I've got stuff to do and it's getting hot. And I still have to work out. It's already 76 degrees and it's humid for this glorious legs and back day. This is gonna suck, especially after on a bike ride yesterday. Legs and back today. It's really humid, sticky. It's supposed to be like 90 degrees today. Not looking forward to it. So I will tell you guys, if you're going to do a leg workout, don't cheat yourself. Do it barefooted. If you can do it and you're not afraid to drop weights on your foot, like if you're careful, you can do it without dropping weights on your foot. But if you are doing a leg workout where you're doing like a lot of squats and stuff, you need to do it barefoot, because what it does is you have to use your stabilizer muscles. You don't have as stable a base. Your foot is not flat, and so you're doing it like you naturally would, and you fatigue your legs so much easier by doing it barefoot, especially your calves. Like the first couple times I did leg workouts barefoot, like I'm like, why do the muscles in my foot hurt? And I was like, oh, because I'm keeping my balance with my toes instead of spreading it across a flatter surface of a shoe where you don't have it. That does the support for you. If you're barefoot, you're constantly stabilizing your feet because it feels as though you're more off balance. Cheating yourself by wearing shoes. You'll get, you'd be surprised at how much harder it makes a leg workout by doing it barefoot. But I never thought about it being beneficial. Yeah, definitely. The only problem I've got is today I stepped on something. I bruised my foot. So there's a good chance I am going to wear shoes to do this today. So, but we will see. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get off of here. It's about that time. Like I said, first live review, or live knife review-ish. Go check out the Kickstarter. It's the Nitch Design Ingress, and he calls it that because it's basically his like opening boxes. Like he's an office guy. Nick is not a big burly outdoors kind of guy. Nick is he is kind of an office guy, and so it makes sense that he would develop something like that. But yeah, I think if people can wrap their head around where it really excels and the fact that it's not a tactical folding knife, it's not a outdoors a bushcraft knife, it's none of those things. It is a specific niche. It really is, and it was kind of a cool name for the like his design house name. No, it doesn't. Not every knife has to be tactical. For me, a knife has to meet a certain set of requirements. This fell into a weird spot where, yeah, if like would I buy one? No. If I won one in a in a raffle or a lottery. Would I keep it? Yeah, probably, because it would be exactly what I said. I would toss it in with my stuff that usually goes. I probably would toss it in with my CPAP stuff that always goes on trips with us, so that if we went somewhere and we were going to cook, we had something that we could use. Because like I said, how many times you went to an Airbnb and got ready to make a meal and you open up the drawer and the knives are just chowdered, if they even have any. You're like, oh crap, they don't even have silverware. You know, because not everybody wants to order takeout every time they go shopping. We actually pick Airbnbs that have kitchens and take stuff with us to cook because, well, one, my wife's picky about my daughter's diet because she's an athlete, and two, it's cheaper. So, all right, guys, well, that's it. It's been 30 minutes. I'm gonna get off here. 7 of y'all, if you haven't already dropped a like, I'd appreciate it because it helps get this video shared so you can help Nick. I'm gonna send this to Nick as a link after this, and I will be announcing, I know I said I was gonna do it. I'm gonna announce the giveaway for this probably this weekend. This is for everybody. I just did the thing for the members only the other day, and that was the the hydrographic and sharpening. And I've got to figure out how to get a hold of Drew L, who won, because I don't want this sitting on the plate forever. Drew, if you're watching this, I would appreciate if you got a hold of me so that I can get this set up so we can figure out what you're gonna do. If not, if I haven't heard anything, I'm gonna say if I haven't heard anything by the time Nico and I go to Petaluma to meet with Mattia Barani, I'm gonna pick a new winner of those 15 or 16 guys that are up there. So just because I want to get it set up. So there's still a time frame. Like if you don't respond back, because I don't want to have too many things, too many irons in the fire where, you know, I'm gonna forget something and stuff like that. I want to get that taken care of before I do another giveaway for the members. I want to make sure that I'm not like doubling up where like, oh, I still got to get a hold of this guy. Hey, Sean. Or this guy still hasn't gotten a hold of me. So yeah, Drew, I need you to get a hold of me so we can set that up. So, all right, guys, I gotta get out of here. I'll talk to you all later. Go check out the Kickstarter. Check out the Kickstarter and just see if it's something you're interested in. All right, later.